The hospital room hums with the sterile beep of machines, a faint glow from the heart monitor casting shadows across Jake Thompson's pale face. Tubes snake from his arms, anchoring him to life after a heart attack that nearly claimed him. He's 45, a trucker who's spent 22 years hauling dreams across America's highways, only to wake to a nightmare. His phone buzzes, a single message from Sarah, his wife of 15 years. No words of love, just a screenshot. Their joint account, $61,438.72, drained to zero. Below it, her text stabs like a knife. I deserve this after everything I've done for you. The camera zooms to Jake's eyes, unblinking, as the weight of betrayal sinks in. Most men would rage, scream, break. Jake? He types a thumbs-up emoji, hits send, and leans back, the beep of his heart rate steady. He's not broken, he's 3 steps ahead. This isn't just a theft. It's a war. Sarah didn't just steal Jake's savings. She shattered his trust, weaving a web of lies with accomplices who played him for a fool. From hospital bed to courtroom, Jake uncovers a conspiracy darker than he imagined, outsmarting those who thought he'd crumble. The music swells, a low, tense pulse, as the screen cuts to Jake's weathered hands gripping the phone, then to a highway stretching into the night. How do you fight when your heart's barely beating? How do you win when the enemy's the one you loved? If you're moved by stories of resilience, hit that subscribe button and join us for Jake's journey. Would you stay silent, plan in the shadows, and take back your life? The camera pans across a quiet Sioux Falls street, dawn breaking over modest homes, as Jake Thompson sits on the edge of a guest bed in his brother Mike's house. His weathered hands grip a chipped coffee mug, steam rising. But his eyes are distant, lost in a life that feels like someone else's now. At 45, Jake's a man carved by the road. 6 feet 2 inches, broad-shouldered, with a face etched by sun and solitude. For 22 years, he's driven a semi-truck, hauling freight across America's arteries, from the neon glow of Nashville to the endless plains of Nebraska. His life's not glamorous. Greasy diners, truck stop showers, a playlist heavy on Springsteen, but it's honest. Black coffee, scuffed boots, and a stubborn belief that hard work pays off define him. Jake's quiet, not from shyness, but because he lets actions speak. He's the guy who fixes flats for strangers, pays the bills, keeps promises. Or so he thought. Cut to a flashback. A Wyoming gas station, 16 years ago, dust swirling under a blazing sun. Jake, 30, kneels beside a stranded car, changing a flat tire for a woman with a quick smile. Sarah, 27, all charm and laughter. Their eyes meet, a spark igniting. 6 months later, a Sioux Falls courthouse, Jake in a borrowed suit, Sarah in a simple dress, vowing forever. No kids followed, just a modest house with a mortgage Jake paid faithfully. He drove long hauls to give Sarah the life she wanted. New furniture, girls' trips, a wardrobe he never questioned. The road kept him gone 3 weeks out of 4, but he called every night, voice crackling through spotty service, sharing stories of snowstorms or starry skies. Sarah's laughter filled the gaps. First, the screen shifts, colors fading. Years pass, calls shorten. Sarah's voice grows clipped, her questions scarce. Jake notices but blames the grind. He trusts her, marriage demands it. Flash to their kitchen. Sarah checking her phone under the table. Jake eating silently. She takes solo trips with friends he's never met. Buys dresses he never sees her wear. He ignores the tightness in his chest, chalking it up to bad coffee, long hours. The camera lingers on his tired eyes, a man pouring himself into a life he believes is enough. But cracks form. Her new passwords, her disinterest in his return dates, the way she flinches when he touches her hand. Jake's world is small but anchored. Mike, his older brother, a construction foreman, lives across town with Emily, his 22-year-old daughter. Mike's a gruff man, twice divorced, but he'd walk through fire for Jake. They don't talk much, life's kept them busy, but their bond is iron. Emily's different. A law student with a fierce mind and a heart bigger than her 5 feet 4 inches frame. She's Jake's pride, the kid who'd argue with professors and win. Last year, after a buddy's stroke left him vulnerable, Emily helped Jake set up a medical power of attorney. He wasn't a worrier, but he liked being prepared. That choice, tucked in a folder, would soon be his lifeline. Cut back to Mike's guest room, present day. Jake sets the mug down, untouched. His chest aches, not from the stent, but from a deeper wound. The camera pulls back, showing a duffel bag half-packed, a life uprooted. Weeks ago, chest pain hit outside Omaha, a vice squeezing his heart. He pulled over, called 911, was airlifted to Sioux Falls. Doctors said he was failing, flatlined twice. The nurse called him lucky when he woke, tubes tethering him to life. Lucky? The word tastes bitter now. Sarah's betrayal looms, unspoken but heavy, a storm gathering on the horizon. Flash to their wedding photo, once on their hallway table, now missing. What else has he missed? The music softens, a haunting guitar riff, as Jake stares out the window. He's a good man, ground down by a world he didn't see turning against him. Want to see how Jake fights back? Subscribe now to follow his story of grit and redemption. The screen fades, a highway stretching into the unknown, his past unraveling behind him. The hospital room is a cold cocoon of white walls and blinking machines, the steady beep of Jake Thompson's heart monitor cutting through the silence. He lies propped on a stiff pillow, tubes snaking from his arms, a man tethered to life after a heart attack that nearly ended him. At 45, his face is pale but resolute, etched with the wear of 22 years behind the wheel of a semi. The camera lingers on his calloused hands, resting on the thin blanket, then pans to the window where dawn bleeds through the blinds. It's been 2 days since he flatlined. Twice, the doctor said. His chest aches, the stent a foreign weight, but he's alive. Barely. His phone, perched on the bedside table, buzzes once, a sharp vibration that feels louder than it should. Jake reaches for it, wincing, his fingers slow but deliberate. The screen glows with one message from Sarah, his wife of 15 years. No, I love you. No, are you okay? Just a screenshot that hits like a freight truck. Their joint account, balance zero, $61,438.72 gone. Every dime of his emergency fund, truck maintenance savings, retirement cushion wiped out. Below it, Sarah's words sear into him. I deserve this after everything I've done for you. The camera zooms to Jake's eyes, unblinking, as the betrayal sinks in, a slow poison. The heart monitor beeps steady, no spike, no chaos. Most men would scream, call her, demand answers. Jake doesn't. His thumb hovers over the keyboard, then types a single thumbs-up emoji. He hits send, sets the phone down, and leans back, staring at the ceiling tiles. The room feels smaller, the air heavier, but his face is a mask of calm. Inside, a storm brews, not rage but clarity. This wasn't a mistake. This was planned. Flash to a memory. Their Sioux Falls kitchen 6 months ago. Sarah sits across from Jake, her phone face down, her smile tight. He's just back from a 3-week haul, exhausted but trying. Missed you, he says, reaching for her hand. She pulls away, muttering about work stress. He blames the road, his absence. Now, in the hospital bed, that moment sharpens. The signs were there, her late nights with friends, new passwords, the way she stopped asking when he'd be home. Jake trusted her blindly, believing love meant loyalty. The camera cuts to the screenshot again, time-stamped during his surgery, when he was unconscious, flatlining. Sarah didn't even wait to see if he'd live. The realization twists deeper than the stent in his chest. He should be furious, broken. Instead, he's still, his breathing measured. The nurse enters, checking his chart. You're lucky, she says, her voice soft. Jake's lips twitch, not a smile. Lucky? The word tastes like ash. He replays Sarah's text, her cold calculation. $61,000. His life's work, mile after mile, sweat and solitude. Gone. The camera pulls back, showing Jake alone, a man dwarfed by the sterile room, the weight of 15 years pressing down. He thinks of their wedding day, her laugh as they danced under string lights. Was it ever real? The music swells, a low, mournful violin, underscoring his isolation. The doctor arrives, a gray-haired woman with kind eyes. Rest, she orders. No stress, no driving for 6 weeks. Jake nods, already planning. He lies about a ride home. That night, alone, the hospital dimmed to a hush, he makes a call. The camera cuts to Mike, his brother, answering in his cluttered kitchen. Need a place to crash, Jake says, voice low, steady. Don't tell Sarah. Mike's brow furrows, but he doesn't hesitate. Done. She doesn't know you're out. Jake's jaw tightens, the phone pressed to his ear. She knows I'm alive. She just doesn't know I'm not coming home. The line goes quiet, the weight of his words hanging. Mike exhales. Whatever you need, man. Discharged the next morning, Jake doesn't go to their house. The camera follows him, duffel bags slung over his shoulder, climbing into Mike's pickup. Sioux Falls passes in a blur. Strip malls, snow-dusted lawns. A town he's called home but now feels foreign. At Mike's small house, Jake steps into the guest room, the air thick with the scent of old wood and coffee. Mike, a burly 48-year-old with a foreman's grit, hands him a sandwich. You look like hell, he says, concern masking his gruff tone. Jake sets the plate down, untouched. He sits on the bed, staring at the floor, the screenshot burned into his mind. 15 years, quiet dinners, shared dreams, promises, erased in one text. The camera lingers on his hands, clenching, then relaxing. He thinks of the gas station where he met Sarah, her smile as he fixed her tire. Now he's a mark played for a fool. He doesn't cry, doesn't yell. His silence isn't weakness, it's focus. He pulls out his phone, rereading Sarah's message. The transaction details confirm it. The withdrawal happened while he was fighting for his life. The betrayal isn't just financial, it's a blade through his trust, his identity. The camera zooms to his eyes, not angry but resolute. He's not the man Sarah thinks she broke. He's a fixer, and this is a problem to solve. If Jake's strength in this moment speaks to you, hit subscribe to follow his fight for justice. The screen fades to black, the heart monitors beep echoing, a promise of what's to come. The morning light filters through Mike's kitchen window, casting a soft glow on Jake Thompson as he sits at the table, laptop open, coffee cold. His face, weathered by years on the road, is set in quiet determination, but his eyes betray a flicker of pain. The hospital is behind him, the stent in his chest a constant reminder, but Sarah's betrayal, $61, for 38.72 stolen while he flatlined, cuts deeper. The camera pans to the laptop screen, showing their joint account, balance 0, the screenshot from Sarah's text burned into his memory. Jake's not raging, not broken. He's hunting. His fingers move methodically, logging into their bank portal, checking transaction history. The money's gone, but the transfers lead to an unfamiliar account. A digital breadcrumb Sarah didn't bother to hide. He screenshots everything, jaw tight, saving each file to a folder labeled evidence. The camera zooms to his hands, calloused from years gripping a steering wheel, now navigating a battlefield he never expected. He digs deeper, opening their shared email untouched for years. Sarah's inbox is sterile, scrubbed clean, but her trash folder is a goldmine. Hotel bookings in Minneapolis, paid with a credit card he doesn't recognize, under David Jensen. Dave, their neighbor. The name lands like a second blow. The camera cuts to a flashback. Last summer, Dave helping Jake build a shed in their backyard, both men laughing over beers. Jake had trusted him, called him a friend. Now, Dave's text from days ago replays in his mind. Haven't seen you around. Sarah's got some guy over. Jake thought it was a warning. The truth hits harder. Dave was covering his affair with Sarah, playing concerned neighbor while betraying him. The camera lingers on Jake's face, a muscle twitching in his cheek, as he processes the double cross. He saves the emails, each one a knife twisting deeper. Jake's phone buzzes. A call from Emily, his niece. The screen splits, showing Emily in her dorm, surrounded by law books, her sharp eyes mirroring Jake's resolve. Uncle Jake, I checked like you asked. she says, voice low. Sarah's got an account, opened 18 months ago. Balance, $127,340.56. Deposits every few weeks under $10,000 to avoid reporting. They match your long-haul trips. Jake's grip tightens, the camera zooming to his knuckles whitening. Sarah wasn't just stealing. She was planning, siphoning money while he drove through blizzards and breakdowns. Emily adds, Dave's an authorized user. They're moving money now, smaller amounts to other accounts. The words hang heavy. They're liquidating, ready to run. Jake nods, voice steady. Thanks, kid. Keep this between us. The call ends, the screen fading to a highway at dusk. Jake's truck a distant speck, alone. He remembers Sarah's excuses. Moving money for better interest rates. He'd never questioned her. Too busy keeping their life afloat. Now every lie clicks. The camera shifts to their home security app. Jake logging in with a backup admin account. Sarah changed the password, but he's not locked out. Footage loads. Dave at their house, 2 a.m., while Jake was hauling freight in Seattle. Sarah opens the door, her smile intimate, familiar. The camera zooms to Jake's eyes, not angry but hollow, as he watches his marriage unravel in grainy black and white. He saves the clip, another piece of the puzzle. The music, a tense piano riff, underscores his growing resolve, but the pain lingers. A man betrayed not just by his wife, but by his own trust. Then, the first escalation crashes in. Emily calls again, her voice urgent. There's another account, not Sarah's, but linked to her through a work email. It's under Karen Mitchell, her co-worker. The camera cuts to a flashback. Karen, a mousy woman in her 30s, at a company picnic, thanking Jake for a get-well card he barely remembers signing. Now, Emily's words chill him. The account's got $45,000, funded by transfers from Sarah's secret account. Karen signed as a consultant for a shell company. Jake's stomach drops. Karen, who sent him that card while he was in the hospital, who hugged him 2 years ago when he loaned her $2,000 to save her car from repossession. He'd been her godsend. Now she's laundering his money. Emily's not done. I found a property title in Karen's name, a rental house in Minneapolis, bought 6 months ago with a $30,000 down payment from Sarah's account. The camera flashes to a suburban Minneapolis street, a nondescript house with a for rent sign, then back to Jake, his face a mask of disbelief. Sarah wasn't just stealing for her and Dave. She was building an empire, funneling his savings through Karen to buy assets, likely to flip later. The scope of the conspiracy dawns. His entire financial life, his future, was being dismantled by a network of people he'd trusted. The camera lingers on his hands, clenching, then relaxing, as he processes the betrayal's depth. He thinks of Karen's teary gratitude, Dave's handshake, Sarah's wedding vows. Had they laughed at him? Plotted while he was gone, mile after mile? The pain cuts, but Jake doesn't break. He calls Tom, Mike's lawyer friend, arranging a meeting. The camera follows him to a Sioux Falls coffee shop, rain streaking the windows. Tom, a lean man with sharp eyes, listens as Jake lays out the evidence. The hospital withdrawal, the secret account, the affair, Karen's shell company. This isn't just infidelity, Tom says, voice grim. It's financial exploitation, maybe conspiracy to defraud. We can go after them all. Jake hands over screenshots, footage, Emily's findings. I need to know where I stand, he says, voice low. House, accounts, everything. Tom nods, warning him to stay silent. Don't tip them off. We're building a case. The camera zooms to Jake's face, resolute but haunted, as he sips his coffee, the rain a steady drumbeat outside. Back at Mike's, Jake keeps digging. He logs into a small business account Sarah never knew about. $15,000, untouched. Investments she ignored. $20,000, safe. Lifelines she missed in her greed. But the deepest wound comes from an email, forwarded to Sarah's personal account by mistake. From Dave, he's never home. We've got time. Sarah's reply, I deserve better. The words sear, the camera cutting to a flashback of Jake calling from a truck stop, Sarah's voice distracted, distant. He'd blamed himself for being gone. Now he sees her lies. The music softens, a mournful guitar. As Jake closes the laptop, staring into the dark. He's not just fighting for money, he's fighting for truth. An unexpected ally emerges. Lisa, Mike's ex-wife, calls, her voice heavy with guilt. I saw Sarah with Dave at a bar last year, she admits. Didn't want to cause drama, but I should have told you. Whatever you need, I'm here. The camera flashes to Lisa, mid-40s, tough but kind, standing in her apartment. Her loyalty, born of regret, sparks hope in Jake. He asks her to watch Karen, who frequents the same bars as Sarah. Lisa agrees, her resolve fierce. Jake's not alone anymore. If Jake's fight for justice inspires you, subscribe now to see how he turns the tables. The camera pans to Jake, standing at Mike's window, the Sioux Falls skyline dim under clouds. He's a man betrayed, but not beaten. His next move already forming in the shadows. Jake Thompson sits at Mike's kitchen table, the Sioux Falls dawn painting the room in muted grays. His laptop glows, a war room of evidence. Bank statements, security footage, Emily's financial reports. The screenshot of Sarah's text, $61, for 38.72 stolen. Her mocking words, sits printed beside a hospital discharge form, time-stamped when he was flatlining. At 45, Jake's no stranger to long odds. But this fight isn't on the open road. It's personal, a battle against the wife who betrayed him, the neighbor who played him, and a coworker who turned his kindness into a weapon. The camera pans to his weathered hands, steady as they sort papers, then to his eyes, sharp with purpose. Jake doesn't want revenge, he wants justice, and he's building it brick by brick. The plan takes shape with Tom, Mike's lawyer friend, in a cramped Sioux Falls office, rain tapping the windows. Tom's desk is cluttered with Jake's evidence. The secret account with $127,340.56, Dave's authorized access, Karen's Minneapolis property. This is financial exploitation, Tom says, voice clipped. South Dakota law takes this seriously. We can hit them with fraud, maybe conspiracy. Jake nods, handing over a USB drive, screenshots, emails, footage of Dave at their house. The camera zooms to the drive, a small black rectangle holding Sarah's undoing. First step, Tom says. We document everything. Hospital records, your incapacity, their moves. Then we leverage the house. Jake's lips twitch, not a smile. 3 months ago, he refinanced their home. Rates low, Sarah too busy to sign. It's in his name alone, a trump card she never saw. His medical power of attorney, set up with Emily, ensured Sarah had no control while he was down. The camera flashes to that signing, Emily's proud grin, Jake's trust in her now a lifeline. Step 2, financial lockdown. Jake logs into a small business account Sarah never knew. $15,000, untouched. Investments she ignored, $20,000, safe. He freezes his credit, blocking new accounts in his name. The camera cuts to a bank, Jake meeting a fraud specialist, a stern woman named Clara. He shows Sarah's text, the withdrawal timestamped during his surgery. Clara's eyes narrow, pity and anger flickering. We'll start an investigation, she says. But joint accounts are tricky. We need hospital proof you were unconscious. Jake slides over his records, voice calm. Got it covered. The camera lingers on Clara's typing, the clack of keys a war drum. She warns him, if this goes criminal, police get involved. Jake meets her gaze. I'm ready. Emily's role grows critical. Her credit union internship uncovers more. Dave's withdrawn $90,000 in cashier's checks, his house for sale. Karen's Minneapolis property, funded by Jake's money, is listed for rent, a cash cow. The camera flashes to Emily, hunched over her laptop, law books scattered. They're liquidating. She tells Jake over the phone, voice urgent. Getting ready to run. Jake's jaw tightens, but he's not surprised. He asks her to track Karen's accounts, discreetly. Emily's loyalty, fierce as her father's, fuels him. The camera cuts to a flashback. Jake teaching a teenage Emily to drive his pickup, her laughter filling the cab. Now, she's his secret weapon, connecting dots he'd never see alone. Lisa, Mike's ex-wife, steps up, her guilt afire. In a dimly lit bar, she watches Karen and Sarah, sipping wine, unaware of her gaze. The camera follows Lisa, mid-40s, tough but haunted, texting Jake. Karen's bragging about a big deal in Minneapolis. Sarah's nervous. Jake reads it at Mike's, the message a spark. He asks Lisa to dig deeper, watch their patterns. She agrees, her resolve iron. The camera flashes to a memory. Lisa at a family barbecue, thanking Jake for helping her move post-divorce. Her betrayal, staying silent about Sarah and Dave, stings, but her redemption drives her now. Jake's not alone, his allies a quiet army. The plan deepens. Set a trap. Jake uses a burner phone, texting Sarah as a depot worker. Your husband's truck is here. You coming by? The camera cuts to Sarah in her office, reading it, her face tense. She replies, I was there. Where is he? Her desperation confirms she's rattled. Jake doesn't respond, letting her stew. The camera zooms to his face, calm but calculating, as he writes a note. She's scared. He drives by their house, dusk settling, photographing the shed and landscaping Dave installed. Improvements funded by Jake, boosting the property's value, now his alone. He sends the photos to Tom. Documented. The music, a pulsing bass, mirrors his steady heartbeat. A man in control. Then the second escalation hits. Jake's phone rings, his trucking company's HR. We're investigating a complaint. A woman says, voice formal. You've been reported driving against medical orders, endangering others. The camera zooms to Jake's eyes, narrowing. He hasn't driven since the hospital doctor's orders. The complaint's anonymous, but Jake knows. Sarah and Dave are striking back, aiming to kill his disability claim, maybe get him fired or arrested. His job, his income, his credibility in court, all at risk. The camera cuts to Mike's living room, Jake pacing, the weight of the accusation heavy. Mike, pouring coffee, curses. They're playing dirty. Jake nods, voice low. They're scared. That night, Lisa calls, panicked. Sarah's telling people at work you were abusive, she says. Says she took the money to escape you. The camera flashes to a Sioux Falls bar. Sarah whispering to coworkers, her face a mask of victimhood. Jake's hands clench, the betrayal now public. An email arrives from an unknown account. Stop digging, or everyone knows what you really are. Attached is a doctored photo, Jake, looking aggressive, time-stamped years ago. It's fake, but convincing. The camera lingers on the image, then Jake's face. Not fear, but resolve. Sarah and Dave are betting he'll crack. They're wrong. Jake forwards the email to Tom, who's livid. This is defamation, witness tampering. He says, voice sharp. We'll use it. Jake meets a private investigator, a grizzled man named Ray, sharing the footage and photo. Ray traces the email to Karen's office IP address. She's coordinating the smear. The camera cuts to Karen in her cubicle, unaware she's been caught. Jake's heart races, but his face stays still. He asks Emily to trace the complaint. She finds it linked to a temp email from Karen's workplace. The noose tightens. The camera zooms to Jake, installing a hidden camera near their mailbox, catching Dave dropping off a package, burner phones, or cash. Every move is calculated, his silence a weapon. The plan sharpens. Let them think they're winning. Jake texts Sarah from the burner, feigning desperation. I know about Dave. Let's talk. She doesn't reply, but Tom notices her account spike. Money moving faster, panic setting in. Jake meets Tom again. Rain heavier now, the office dim. We file for an emergency injunction, Tom says. Freeze their assets. Block Dave's house sale, Karen's property. We move now. Jake nods, his face a fortress. The camera flashes to a flashback. Jake towing Dave's broken down car years ago, paying for repairs, Dave's grateful handshake. Now Dave's stealing his life. The betrayal fuels him, but Jake's calm, a predator waiting. If Jake's strategy grips you, Subscribe to see his enemies fall. The camera pans to Jake, standing in Mike's driveway, the Sioux Falls night closing in, his plan a ticking clock. The Sioux Falls courthouse stands like a sentinel under a gray sky, its stone facade unyielding as Jake Thompson steps through the double doors. His only tie, reserved for funerals, is knotted tightly, a quiet nod to the death of his marriage. At 45, Jake's no stranger to battles, but today's fight is for his life's work, stolen by Sarah, his wife of 15 years, and her accomplices, Dave and Karen. The camera pans to his weathered face, calm but resolute, as he enters the courtroom, Tom at his side. Across the room, Sarah sits with Karen and their attorney, Patricia Wells, a shark in a sharp suit. The air crackles, fluorescent lights humming. Judge Harmon, white-haired and stern, takes the bench, his reading glasses low, eyes sharp as steel. The camera zooms to his gavel, resting like a promise of justice, then to Jake's steady hands, ready for war. Tom opens, voice clear. Your Honor, Sarah Thompson drained $61,438.72 from a joint account, while Jake Thompson was unconscious, flatlining from a heart attack. She acted with intent, alongside David Jensen and Karen Mitchell, in a scheme of financial exploitation. He presents hospital records, Sarah's text with the zeroed-out account, the secret account with $127,340.56, Karen's Minneapolis property funded by Jake's money. The camera cuts to Harmon, his jaw tightening as he reviews the evidence, a flicker of disgust crossing his face. He adjusts his glasses, signaling Tom to continue. Security footage plays. Dave at Jake's house, 2 a.m., Sarah's intimate smile. The courtroom falls silent, betrayal laid bare. Jake's eyes stay on Harmon, not Sarah. He's here for truth, not vengeance. Wells rises, tone polished but strained. Your Honor, my client had every right to access joint funds. Mr. Thompson's refinancing of their home, solely in his name, caused Mrs. Thompson emotional distress. Harmon leans forward, glasses off, his voice a low growl. Counselor, you're sidestepping the issue. Did your client know Mr. Thompson was hospitalized, fighting for his life, when she took the money? Sarah whispers frantically, but Wells falters, admitting, yes, Your Honor, but she acted to protect herself. Harmon's eyes narrow, his silence heavier than any rebuke. Protect herself? He repeats, voice dripping with disdain. While her husband flatlined? I expect better from you, Ms. Wells. The camera zooms to Sarah, her hands trembling, as Harmon's words strip her bare. Tom presses forward, unveiling the escalation. The defendants didn't stop at theft, Your Honor. They tried to destroy Mr. Thompson's reputation. He presents the anonymous complaint to Jake's employer, alleging illegal driving, and a doctored photo emailed to smear him as abusive. Emily's findings tie the complaint to Karen's office IP, the email to her network. The camera cuts to Karen, shrinking, her facade crumbling. Tom plays Jake's video, recorded that morning. Sarah and Dave arguing in the courthouse lot, their intimacy undeniable. Wells had sworn no relationship existed. The footage plays, silent but damning, Harmon's face hardening as he watches. The camera lingers on his clenched jaw, a judge whose patience is gone. Harmon's voice cuts through. Ms. Wells, your client lied under oath about her relationship with Mr. Jensen. Explain. Wells stammers. It's not relevant to the financial matters, Your Honor. Harmon slams his gavel, the sound like thunder. It's relevant when perjury and fraud are on the table, Counselor. This court will not tolerate deception. He turns to Sarah, eyes piercing. Mrs. Thompson, are you planning to flee with Mr. Jensen? Sarah's voice cracks, a weak denial. Harmon's tone sharpens. You, Mr. Jensen, and Ms. Mitchell moved substantial sums, sold properties, bought assets with stolen funds. This reeks of intent to defraud and evade justice. The camera zooms to Jake, his face still, but his eyes burn with quiet triumph. Harmon's not just a judge. He's the hammer of truth. Karen, called as a witness, collapses under Harmon's gaze. I only helped Sarah with paperwork, she mumbles. Harmon leans forward, voice icy. You purchased a property with Mr. Thompson's earnings, Ms. Mitchell. That's theft, not paperwork. You exploited a man who helped you in your darkest hour. The camera flashes to Jake handing Karen $2,000 years ago. Her teary gratitude. Now, Harmon's condemnation stings her, her face crumpling. Wells accuses Jake of abandonment, but Harmon dismisses it, his voice rising. A man recovering from a heart attack, exploited by his spouse, is not the abandoner here, Ms. Wells. Your client's actions disgust this court. The camera cuts to Lisa in the gallery, her fierce nod echoing Harmon's outrage. Harmon's ruling is a blade. The exploitation of a vulnerable spouse is a grave offense. He declares, glasses off, eyes blazing. I'm freezing all assets of Sarah Thompson, David Jensen, and Karen Mitchell. None may leave the county. Mr. Thompson is granted exclusive use of the marital home. Sarah gasps, Wells grabbing her arm. Karen's hands cover her face. Harmon's voice deepens. Ms. Mitchell, your role warrants further investigation. Expect scrutiny. The gavel falls, a final blow. The camera lingers on Harmon, his face a portrait of justice. Then Jake, a flicker of relief in his eyes. Sarah tries to approach. Jake, please, she pleads. He walks past, silent, Harmon's ruling his shield. Outside, Tom claps Jake's shoulder. Discovery's next. They're finished. Rain falls, Sioux Falls skyline blurred. News vans gather, a reporter's voiceover. Local woman accused of exploiting hospitalized husband. Sarah's world crumbles. Dave's sale stalls. Karen's unravels. The music swells, triumphant, as Jake drives away, rain cleansing. Discovery seals their fate. Emails, receipts, Lisa's testimony bury them. Sarah folds, Harmon awarding Jake the house, truck, 80% of savings. Sarah gets 20% minus fees. Karen faces charges. The camera fades to a highway, Jake's future open, Harmon's justice a beacon behind him. 3 months after the hospital, Jake Thompson stands on the porch of his old Sioux Falls home, the for sale sign swaying in the crisp autumn breeze. The house, once a symbol of his life with Sarah, feels hollow now, its walls echoing betrayal. The camera pans across the empty living room, where their wedding photo once hung, now gone, like the promises it held. Jake's face, weathered but softer, carries a quiet strength. At 45, he's no longer the trucker who lived for the road. The heart attack, the stent, Sarah's theft of $61,438.72. They broke the man he was, but not the man he's becoming. He locks the door, the click final, and drives away, the Sioux Falls skyline fading in the rearview. The music, a gentle acoustic guitar, hums with hope, a new chapter beginning. Jake sells the house for a tidy sum, more than enough to start over. He buys a smaller place near Mike and Emily, a cozy one-story with a porch perfect for morning coffee. The camera lingers on the porch, Jake sitting in a weathered chair, steam rising from his mug as dawn breaks. The road is behind him, his heart can't take long hauls, the doctor warns. He takes a dispatching job, trading truck stops for a desk, home every night. The rhythm is strange, slower, but Jake finds peace in its simplicity. No more 3 a.m. calls from desolate highways, just the quiet of a life he controls. The camera cuts to his new office, Jake on the phone, voice steady, guiding drivers across the country he once roamed. It's not the open road, but it's his. Family anchors him now. Mike, his rock, becomes his fishing buddy, the two brothers casting lines into a Sioux Falls lake, their laughter a balm. The camera flashes to a memory. Mike helping Jake into his guest room post-hospital, his gruff concern, unspoken love. Emily, now 23, shines brighter, her law school dreams taking shape. Jake pays part of her tuition, a gift from the house sale, proud of the fire in her eyes. She's interning at a firm, already talking corporate fraud cases, her role in Jake's fight a spark for her future. The camera zooms to Emily, hugging Jake at a family barbecue, whispering, "You're my hero, Uncle Jake." His smile, rare but genuine, says more than words. Lisa, Mike's ex-wife, redeems her silence with loyalty. She joins their barbecues, her tough exterior softened by laughter, her guilt replaced by connection. The camera flashes to Lisa at the courthouse, her fierce testimony helping bury Sarah's lies. Jake doesn't hold her past silence against her. She's family now, her help a bridge rebuilt. He's not dating, not ready, but he's not lonely. The camera pans across the barbecue, Mike flipping burgers, Emily debating law with Lisa, Jake watching quietly, a man surrounded by love he'd nearly forgotten. Sioux Falls, once a backdrop to his pain, feels like home again. Its streets familiar, forgiving. Cleaning out boxes in his new place, Jake finds their wedding album, Sarah's smile frozen in time. The camera zooms to the photo, her eyes bright, his arm around her, a moment from another life. He doesn't throw it out. It's part of his story, not his future. Tucked inside is a letter from Emily, written after the final hearing. Uncle Jake, you showed me what strength looks like. You fought when most would have broken. Thank you for trusting me. The camera lingers on Jake's face, a tear tracing his cheek, quickly wiped away. He folds the letter, tucking it into a drawer, a reminder of what he's gained. The music swells, a hopeful piano. As he steps outside, the stars above Sioux Falls bright, unyielding. Sarah emails months later, forwarded through Tom.
I'm sorry, Jake.
I was lost, scared. I hope you're okay. The camera cuts to Jake, reading it at his desk, his face unreadable. He doesn't reply. Sarah's in Minneapolis now, starting over, her life a shadow of what she chased. Dave skipped town, broke and alone. His house sale blocked by Harmon's injunction. Karen faces fraud charges, her marriage and reputation in ruins. Jake doesn't care, their ghosts, their consequences their own. The camera flashes to Judge Harmon, his stern face in the courtroom, his voice echoing. This court will not tolerate deception. Harmon's justice, fierce and unwavering, gave Jake the foundation to rebuild, a beacon of fairness in a world that nearly broke him. Jake's heart attack nearly killed him. Sarah's betrayal nearly shattered him. But he's here, changed, stronger. The camera pans to him on his porch, coffee in hand, the Sioux Falls dawn painting the sky gold. He's not angry, not anymore. Sarah thought she took everything, but she gave him freedom, a chance to rebuild better than before. If Jake's journey of redemption moves you, subscribe now to join us for more stories of triumph. The screen fades to a highway, open and endless. Jake's truck a memory, his future a road unwritten. Some lessons cost everything. Some losses set you free.